Hey, world changers, welcome to your podcast. I'm Amiki Carroll and I travel the world with a sense of adventure and purpose, exploring, learning, having fun, and meeting remarkable individuals who are transforming their communities and beyond. Join me as we dive into the inspiring journeys of change makers from every corner of the globe. Tune in weekly for stories that might just change your life, ignite your passion, and show you how ordinary people can create extraordinary impact. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform and follow us on social media at World Changers PC and get ready to take off. Hi, everyone, and welcome again to World Changers podcast. My name is Amiki Carroll Akiwumi, and I am really pleased today to be joined by Jo-Ann Richardson. Now, you guys know that this podcast aims to shed light on ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things to make a positive impact in their communities and beyond. And on my journeys, I meet these interesting people in the different countries that I go to. And through these insightful conversations that I've had with, I'm hoping to inspire you and equip you to take action and create meaningful change in your own life and in the world around you. So if we dive straight in, Jo-Ann, welcome. Really pleased to have you. We've been trying to do this for a while, and I'm so pleased that we finally managed to do it. I was recently in Jamaica. Couldn't see you because you broke your leg, but that hasn't stopped us. We still managed to connect. So can I just ask you to introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay, greetings from Jamaica. My name is Jo-Ann Richards Goffe. And I am, yes, I can see the look on your face.
Okay. Something's happened.
I am a worshiper, seeking to be a worshiper,
Right.
recruiting other people to worship and discipling them in worship.
Right.
That's what I feel called to do. And I'm also a cultural advocate.
Okay.
So in that role, I'm an ethnodoxologist.
Wow.
Promoting and facilitating other people in worshiping God using their own indigenous heart language and other cultural artistic expressions. So
This must be the first time I've come across that word. Oh, certainly. I'm not even going to try and say it, but I do want you to repeat that. You said ethnodoxologist. Yes. Oh, I got it first time. Tell me a little bit more about that. I also know that you are an avid traveler yourself. So how does that connect to the things you do? How did you get into that at all?
how did I get into ethnodoxology? So I started off on the road of being an ethnomusicologist, right? So my second degree is in ethnomusicology. And I got involved in it. I keep telling people that God tricked me into doing that degree because I had no intention of doing a master's degree, naive it or not.
Okay.
But then I wanted to get involved in cross-cultural mission.
Okay.
And I read a story once of a guy who was working in Brazil among the Canela people. He was a musician, but he just couldn't sing and dance with the people. I mean, he was always sounding off key and be dancing off rhythm, and he couldn't figure it out. But then he had a friend who was an ethnomusicologist. So he invited that friend over to come and record some of these guys' music and see if he could analyze it.
Yeah.
And then to write some new songs for the people based on the scripture, because this guy was a translator.
Okay.
He was translating the Bible into the Canela language. So now he invited his friend. His friend came over, recorded the music, went back home, wrote some songs, came back the following year and introduced it to the people.
Oh, wow.
And he said it was like pouring gas on a campfire, the way the people responded. to both the music and the message that the music was bringing. So I was like, I want to do that.
Oh, wow. Chorus.
And that is how I ended up in ethnomusicology. And I was based for a while in West Africa, in Burkina Faso,
Okay.
doing songwriting workshops and things like that. But became a part of a community, which is now called the Global Ethnodoxology Network.
Okay.
And what had happened was that it started off with just the musicians, but the other artists wanted to be a part of it. They said, why are you leaving us out? Also want to encourage people in using their own language and their own music genres to worship. So not music, because no, it was the dancers, the visual artists, and all of this.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm a part of that community, the Global Ethnodoxology Network, and it's quite a few of us.
Absolutely.
Working around the world.
Yes, wonderful. I absolutely love the idea of people being able to do things in their own mother tongue, if you like, because it's so much more meaningful. As somebody who speaks several languages, I know the difference between when something is said in another tongue that means so much to me. It's just incredible. It's, it takes on a new meaning. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. That's really,
I may ask, what is your mother tongue?
that's interesting. I mean, if I go by what my parents speak, I'll probably say Igbo. If I go by, where I was raised or my husband, I would say Yoruba. Yeah, interesting, right? Yeah. Understand both. So it's really great. Okay. All right. Can you just tell me, because you mentioned, you said you were a cultural communicator or cultural
Advocate.
advocate. That's the one. Mm-hmm. Yes. What does that mean?
It means that as I said, I encourage people to embrace their cultural identity.
Okay.
And then I take it a step further and say, listen, God accepts you as you are, in who you are. So bring your real self into the worship space.
Yeah.
But yes, it means, so for example, in Jamaica, we are bilingual. I don't know if on your visit here you discovered that there are people and you probably had difficulty understanding them sometimes.
I'm fortunate because I've been exposed to patois for so long. It's not too difficult for me. But yes, I do have a colleague here in the UK who I've worked with for many, many years, and he's been a consultant in my organization, helping us facilitate some programs. And yeah, some people struggle to understand him because. But
Right. So we have these two languages. Only one of these two languages is recognized.
okay, for clarity, can you tell us which two languages?
So we have the English language
Mhm.
and we have the Jamaican language, which we call patois.
Mhm. Okay.
But it is the Jamaican language. I mean, if you go to Spain, the people are Spanish, the language is Spanish.
Yeah.
If you go to France, the people are French, the language is French. You come to Jamaica, the people are Jamaican, the language is Jamaican.
Yeah. Okay. So if I might just ask and check with you, whilst it's Jamaican, the same patois is spoken across many other countries, is it not? Or do you think it's only
Not identical.
Ah.
So the Jamaican Creole would be different from
the Bayesian?
the Bayesian Creole, for example.
Okay.
The Antiguan Creole is maybe closer,
Okay.
but it's still different, and we can tell a difference.
Can you?
Accent
Yes.
as well as the Creole itself. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so this is an aha moment, I would imagine, for a lot of people who are listening who thought, oh, yeah, patois is patois. It is not. Creole is Creole. It is not. Yes, Jamaican is a completely different language. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, carry on.
Right. So one of the things that I do is to promote the Jamaican New Testament. because we have had it since 2012, the Jamaican New Testament, and still we are struggling with getting it used in the church spaces. So that's one of the things I do. I have a YouTube channel where, we post readings from it every day.
And why do you think after 12 years, after a dozen years, it's still very difficult? And when you say you're struggling to get it used, is it by people in Jamaica? Is it by Jamaicans in the diaspora? Why is it?
Well, let's start with people in Jamaica.
Okay, all righty, cool.
Because there is still a struggle to accept the language as a language.
Oh.
And then, yes. So it is viewed as being bad English by some people, even though linguists have identified it to be a full language in and of itself for years.
Interesting.
And it also comes with this stigma attached, from slavery days. And so it's not good enough for certain spaces. So it's definitely not good enough for church in some people's minds.
Oh, wow.
So that's one of the issues that we've had to struggle with.
That's interesting. What about across the country, though? Do people have literature and books and, even in school, do they use the Jamaican language as an alternative?
It's not used as an alternative officially.
Okay.
Now, there may be a few teachers who have discovered that the way to get their students learning is to use it, but it is not being officially used. No.
So what you're telling me is that in Jamaica, the Queen's English is the official language, not the Jamaican language.
Yes, ma'am.
How extraordinary. Even in
22 years of independence.
Yes, sir. You're not yet independent from Her Majesty's language or His Majesty's,
let me see if I can try and stand up for the people who are fighting. You have to understand, it was such a strong push against who we were, essentially. So that if we were to be accepted as being valuable and valid human beings, we needed to be like the colonizers. So the more we were like them, is the better we were, and the more we were accepted. And then you kind of got lost in the whole trail of, so how did we get here again? We got lost. So some people don't even realize that people had to, in order to be accepted in some schools, for example, you had to be a member of a church.
Oh,
correct. Yes. And so it's a whole lot of things that now we need to get to know ourselves better. But I must say, though, that there has been increase in the acceptance, in people's accepting the language. But there is a Jamaican language unit based at the University of the West Indies, Mona, where they have done a lot of work in even developing curricula from grades 1 to 4. They had developed the curriculum in both languages so that the children can be taught bilingually.
Yes.
However, it has not been pushed through to actually be activated in the schools.
Yeah.
But at least that's a step forward.
Yeah.
Or the material is there, so when the people are ready, material is there.
I love that. And I honestly hope that, there will be an acceleration of the acceptance and, implementation, because it's so important. I can't even begin to imagine what it does to people's identity and their psyche to think that your language is inferior.
When you validate a language, you validate the speakers of that. So that is what I'm waiting for, all our people to be validated. Okay. But one of the other things I did, which helps to open the door a little better, is to write songs. And I can't even claim the songs for my own. I have to say God gave me these songs. A few of them I sat and intentionally wrote them, but it's still by his inspiration.
Right.
So using the Jamaican language, using Jamaican music genre.
Yeah.
We've put out there, and I mean, there's a wide range of, you have the one drop reggae, you have dancehall, you have mento, revival, all of these music genres. So I have been writing those. So I have 2 albums.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Based on the Jamaican New Testament.
Fantastic.
Except for this one song that's based on Psalm 23.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah.
We'll definitely make sure that
we've been through it.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we link to all of those for sure so that people can check them out. Yeah, that's really great. And how would you say, how much of, because I hear you talking about music, and that's certainly one thing that Jamaica's given the world, lots of amazing music. And who can even forget Bob Marley? You cannot talk about Jamaica without thinking about Bob Marley. Yeah, one of the greatest of all time. Still resonates. The movie was out this year.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's fantastic. How much would you say that Jamaica's actually shaped you in terms of as a person growing up and all of the stuff that you're doing?
Wow. Okay. So for one thing, and we've been having this argument in Jamaica about whether Louise Bennett Coverley should be a national hero or an icon.
And can you tell us who he is?
Louise Bennett Coverley, it's a she.
It's a she. Louise. Okay.
Louise.
Okay.
And she was a champion for the Jamaican language.
Okay.
She started off in the UK, actually, because she went there to study. Don't know if that's where she started, actually, now that I think about it. But she did a lot of work there in the UK and then back in Jamaica. So she was both an advocate or activist for the Jamaican language, as well as being an artist. So she wrote a whole lot of poems. She wrote some songs. And she wrote some stories. She was a writer, storyteller, a poet, and a songwriter. And I grew up listening to her program on the television, watching her program on the television. She had a program called Ring Ding with children. And so she would have these little children performing, and then, she would encourage them. And then she would say her poems, and she was a huge impact on me. So here's the thing. My first language is English.
Okay.
Right? Yes. English was what was spoken in my home on pain of fine. We were fined money if we spoke anything that was not the Queen's English. I guess it's now the King's English.
Yeah, right? The King's English.
So yes, my mother, she banned the use of the Jamaican language in the home.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it at first because it wasn't spoken at home. But then I started going out and I started hearing it and I fell in love with it. And her poems were being published. So I got a book with her poems and I would just sit down and read them, and my mother was in shock. But she couldn't stop me because she had a huge level of regard for anything that was written, anything in a book.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And here was Louise Bennett's poems in a book.
Yeah.
So she couldn't stop me from speaking the language because it was in this book. Well, she could stop me from speaking it, but she didn't want to stop me from reading it because she was just amazed that I could. And then, so that was one thing. And then, of course, the folk songs. So these things, I mean, and I learned them in school and they were embedded in my heart. I must say that my mother, she passed away. Thursday gone would be 3 years since she passed away. And this mother who had banned the speaking of the Jamaican language in this house, she was on her way through the Jamaican New Testament for the 3rd time.
Oh, wow. Okay. She had to come. Okay. She had a change of heart.
That's another story for another day. How she turned around. It is a story.
Yes.
But The other thing is the Jamaica's national anthem, the motto, and the pledge. In fact, my friend Yvonne Coke has written a book called Perspectives on the Jamaican Map.
Right.
M for the motto, A for the anthem, and P for the pledge.
Nice.
And if we were really to live according to this map, we would be a different world today. Because, first of all, the motto says, out of many, one people.
Yep. Yep.
Then the anthem is a prayer. It's a prayer to Eternal Father to bless our land. You know, and then you getting down toward the chorus, it says, justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. So every time we sing our anthem, we're praying together as a nation. But the pledge is mind-blowing. And I think the pledge had predisposed me to my love for travel, but not just travel, but travel with a purpose.
Right.
So
Nice.
pledge is before God and all mankind. I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in the service of my fellow citizens.
Right.
I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity.
Wow.
Here is the part. And play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.
Oh, wow.
Now, for a little country like Jamaica to take out such a huge mission, it's just mind-blowing, really. And I think that those were the things that really shaped the development of my life.
Right.
That plus the fact that Jamaica we are said to have the most churches per square mile.
So I've heard.
Yeah. So, there was that. It has its pluses and minuses. But those are the things about Jamaica that has shaped me. We tend to be also just I think that we take too much for granted where we are concerned. I don't think it has dawned on us that if you draw the map just a little smaller, we disappear.
Yes.
And yet, we have given to the world so much through people like Bob Marley, through people like Marcus Garvey.
Yep. Usain Bolt, one of my favorites. Yeah, exactly.
How does a little nation like Jamaica think it's normal to compete on the world stage and feel a way when we don't win?
Yep. And to do so,
wants to win.
Yep. And you guys do so with all the confidence, expecting to win. No athletic championship would be truly magnificently entertaining without that competition between the US and Jamaica.
Oh, did we get?
But I could tell you my favorite moment was the bobsled team. I couldn't even fathom how. It's not just that it's a tiny country. Nobody knows what snow looks like. And to qualify to go to come on, it's
extraordinary. So talking with you right now and just kind of going through these things is doing something for me.
I'm so pleased.
Because if I were on the verge of giving up on something, at this point I'd be like, no, that's not my heritage.
You know what? I'm so pleased you said that. I have no doubt that lots of people will be encouraged by this conversation, but I'm also pleased that you will be encouraged to carry on because you are making huge impact. And that's the same with other people, social impact, world changers, as I call us. Sometimes the going gets rough. It's difficult to pick yourself up, especially in the face of so much opposition sometimes, but discouragement that comes from not just seeing change happen as fast as you want. So I'm really pleased that you're just going to carry on because we can't afford to. We cannot afford to because at the end of the day, we don't inherit this world from anyone. If anything, we leave it for those who are coming after us. And it's on it's on us to make sure that we leave it at least the way we found it. But if you're clever and if you're even grateful for any breath of air and life that you have, you want to leave it better. And it doesn't take too much to just make sure it's that bit better, moving the dial, on your watch, definitely, and during the time that you might have, no matter how long or short. So I want to thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the change you're making. Thank you for the encouraging words that you've brought. And I know that you've also written a book. So would you like to talk about that book before we actually go into Jamaica? Because that's a favorite tourist destination and we cannot leave this conversation without exploring some of those things.
Okay, so the book is called God Incidences, a Jamaican woman's journeys with God.
Nice.
And it is the foreword was actually written by one of my lecturers at the Jamaica Theological Seminary. So I did mention my second degree is ethnomusicology. My first degree is in theology with a minor in guidance and counseling. Okay. So Reverend Dr. Samuel Vassar wrote the foreword. But this book is a collection of stories from my adventures with God.
Okay.
And to different parts of the world, from Switzerland to Curacao to Burkina Faso and Benin to Costa Rica, Peru.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But the focus is on God's sovereignty to show how God has been weaving a story through my life, and that He has always been there and been in control. So, in fact, the book was first published as God Incidences, Adventuring with an Awesomely Sovereign, Sovereignly Awesome God. And published in 2010.
Oh, wow. That long ago.
But then I wanted to add some more to it. So give updates on certain things, because in the first edition, there was a story of my romantic adventures.
Right.
And then so I published that in 2010. I got married in 2015.
Okay.
And so I wanted to update that story,
Of course.
as well as to talk about, because God incidents, it was a word that I thought I came up with, but then since then I've seen other people using that.
Yep.
But then there was another word that my brother coined, but which I have defined. So he said, when I sent him a story about my first visit to the UK, and all that transpired along the way, and all that transpired when I was there on that first visit to the UK. And he said, this is not a God incident. This is a Godspiracy. So come on, that. So the Godspiracy is a series of God incidences that are divinely connected for a divine purpose. Right.
I love it. Okay, that's interesting. Never heard that one. I'm going to start using it for sure. So thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Like conspiracy. Good. Fantastic. Listen, so I know you're in Kingston, right?
I'm in Kingston.
Yeah, because
Born raised in Kingston.
Yeah.
Here is Manchester, though.
Okay. So just talk people through the different wards in Jamaica, and then tell them what your favorite thing to do or what you recommend if somebody visits to do.
Okay, the first thing you said was the different what?
Yeah, so the different parishes. I know they're called
Oh,
parishes.
different parishes. Oh my goodness, geography class. And
I
studies class.
I can help.
So we have Kingston. Let me go west of Kingston. So you have Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon. My husband is around the corner hinting to me now. So you have Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. Is it Westmoreland next?
So there are quite a few, so I don't blame you for not knowing.
14 parishes.
Yeah, there are 14. So don't blame me for not knowing. So you said Kingston, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth. Did you say St. Anne? Because
I haven't got to St. Anne.
oh, I get it.
Because it is on the north coast. I was going south,
Oh.
coming back now, Westmoreland, then St. James, then I mentioned Hanover, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at St. James, after St. James is St. Anne. No, Trelawney, and then St. Anne.
Did you mention Portland?
St. Mary, I'm getting there, do you know? And it's beside St. Mary, okay? We've got St. Thomas, and then you come back around to Kingston and St. Andrew. Yes.
Well done, well done. Yeah, that's really it.
People normally end up going on the north coast somewhere.
Okay.
So between Montego Bay,
Yes.
Ocho Rios.
Yeah.
Ocho Rios is in St. Anne, Montego Bay is in St. James. But Negril is also a very
Nice.
hot spot.
Yeah.
It is. Negril is it in Hanover or Westmoreland? I asked him, my husband,
I don't know. Yeah, but I know that
Westmoreland. I believe Negril is definitely in Westmoreland.
Okay.
So the two ends, on the east you have Morant Point, and on the west it's Negril Point.
Okay.
And it's about 144 miles.
Yeah.
I'm not remembering all of
It's a tiny island, actually, to be honest.
I wouldn't call it tiny.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it tiny because I have lived on Cayman Brac.
Okay.
12 miles from east to west, a mile and a half from north to south. And I lived there for a year and a half, yes. So I wouldn't call it tiny.
Okay, I'll take that back. Oh, wow.
It's small, but not as small as all the other sister countries in the Caribbean.
That's true, actually.
Which are, when we didn't know better, we used to call them small islands. And they weren't happy with that. And I don't blame them. And really, the Caribbean is a whole nother story. Because we really are brothers and sisters and cousins and aunties and uncles.
That's true.
Brought most 90% of Jamaicans have descended from Africans who were enslaved.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And some of us were let off here. Some were taken to the US. Some were taken to Brazil, and then you have all the other Caribbean islands in between. So this is our heritage, really. I mean,
yeah.
I look forward to just us getting reconnected. Well, it's just as and I are being reconnected now. My mother, by the way, did her DNA.
Oh, wow.
And she is, on her mother's side,
Mm-hmm.
she's Yoruba. So we're cousins. If you are from Yoruba,
my husband is. So yeah,
with your husband, right? Your family is Igbo, right?
So tell me, if somebody had, yeah, that's true. That's true. If somebody had a week in Jamaica, where would you recommend that they must not miss, and what is there to do?
Okay. That one has stopped me because, the typical thing is to go to an all-inclusive hotel and
that's good. If you love that, that's a great thing to do. And there are quite a few with very good reputations, Half Moon Bay, all of those. So yeah, okay, got that. But if they wanted to do a little bit of exploring
now, St. Elizabeth,
Okay.
Black River. Yes, I know that there have been people who have cited crocodiles on that side. Yeah, there's that. Getting up into the Blue Mountain.
Oh yes, I've been. It's one of the best things ever.
If there are people who like to hike to the Blue Mountain Peak,
Yeah.
I have, because I've never done it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I have to be honest. I didn't hike, but I went for the coffee. So for the coffee, because the Blue Mountain coffee, because Jamaica has the number one coffee in the world. So
It's famous.
it is very good. I mean, some people say it's number two, but look, I place it as number one because yeah, the other one is not one that I'm very fond of.
Okay.
The way it comes out or anything, I just can't get past that. But yes, yeah. So but driving through was an amazing experience just doing that. So yep, I would definitely recommend that.
Yes, of course, Portland is also a beautiful space. Really. So my husband grew up going to Portland to visit family every summer.
Okay.
I came later on. So we spent our honeymoon in Portland. It's that kind of place.
Nice.
And of course, I mean, Orocobeso.
Oh yes, I was in Orocobeso this last visit. Yeah, nice.
Olden Eye, James Bond, the guy who wrote the James Bond story. Yeah, is right there. That was the inspiration. In fact, his have been filmed there.
It's beautiful, stunning. Yeah, I have to say, agreed. Yeah. And of course, there are all the usual things. There's Bob Marley's house.
I was going to say Independence Sky Museum. And of course, in St. Anne, both Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley are from St. Anne. So going to there,
Where they grew up. Yeah.
yes, is also a good place. Trying to think of
Oh, I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure.
museums if you're a museum person, and the gallery, the National Art Gallery downtown.
There's a lot of beautiful art in Jamaica, I have to say. There's also quite a lot of water. So if you wanted to do sports, water sports, or to just go to like waterfalls and things like that, lots and lots of
Duns River.
Duns River is great. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fly Make the Falls is something people do, and then they get a t-shirt afterwards. I unfortunately could not honestly get a t-shirt. I went halfway up and slid my way back down.
Oh wow. Okay.
With many bruises to show for it. It's not there. So clearly I was not that kind of person.
Not for you.
But I like water. I like a few times I have lived when I was outside of my parents' home. I sought out hill locations, mountain locations, because it's just something else to be at the top of the mountain and just looking down and seeing just the view, both water and vegetation.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I suppose it wouldn't be amiss to finish by saying that Jamaica has probably the best rum in the world.
I have not sampled around the world as no one. That's
That's what I've heard too. You know, I don't know. I haven't tasted everything around the world, but Jamaican rum is
no, but seriously, Jamaican food.
Yeah, food's good. Yeah.
All right. So if you are a meat eater, then you've got the oxtail.
Yes, that's true. Actually,
of course, there's all the jerk stuff.
Yeah,
and jerk anything.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things was seafood, jerk seafood. What do you call these? Lobster, jerk lobster. I mean, who would have thought? Only in Jamaica. Amazing.
And then you can't come to Jamaica without sampling Devon House ice cream.
Of course, Devon House ice. Of course, let me tell you, I'm not an ice cream eater, but I had 2 scoops. Like
yes,
just
oh my god,
yeah, which was
I'm speaking about it, and I'm really hoping that one day, they'll come up with a vegan version.
Oh,
Because it's not just because I am vegan or I do vegan, but milk products give me sinus problems.
yeah. It makes sense, of course.
That's the one thing I miss. It's the Devon House ice cream. Really good.
Yeah, really good. I agree. Yeah. Listen, Joanne, it's been wonderful. I'm sure we could go on and on and on. And I thank you so much for your time. This interesting conversation, which I have no doubt will inspire greatly. And also, I want to thank you for the work that you do and say, I hope that I'll see you soon. If I ever come back to Jamaica, it'll be wonderful to see you in person. And if you come to the UK, same thing. But yeah, whatever happens, I'm sure we'll stay connected.
Yes. And thank you also, because this conversation has been, it has made me breathe. It has made me smile. Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope your leg heals very well. Yeah, because that's why we couldn't meet up last time. Yeah. Anyway, all the best to your husband. Keep doing what you do. Keep inspiring people. Keep pushing. Yeah, human dignity is important. Yeah, and what you do is important. So that's how God intended it, for us to live dignified lives.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you.
Bless you.
And you too. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of World Changes Podcast. I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am by today's conversation. Remember, the power to create changes within each of us. If you were inspired by today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave us a review. It really helps to spread the word and inspire even more world changes. And be sure to follow us on social media at World Changes PC for updates, behind the scenes content, and more inspiring stories. Until next time, keep exploring, keep making a difference, and remember, you can be a world changer.
The World Changes podcast is produced by Humanized Live and presented by Amiki Carroll. Visit theavocadofoundation.org to find out more about how the Avocado Foundation is tackling global inequality through education, stewardship, and financial literacy.